Ready, everybody? Good? Yeah. I'm calling this meeting to order at 7 p.m. Welcome to regular meeting number 1433 of the Wachusett Regional School District Committee. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast on Holden TV Channel 194 and holdentv.com. We have 3 members joining us remotely. Member Govardhan, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. Member Lorway, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Great, thanks. Member Winters, can you hear us?
I can.
Great, thank you. The next item on the agenda is public comment. We have no citizens signed up for public comment at this time. On to the next item. Welcome, everyone. With 1/8 of this school year already done in a flash, I'm excited to get straight to work. So we'll move straight to the superintendent's report. Oh, student representatives report, I meant, not superintendent's report. I didn't read my own writing.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We've had a super busy start to the month here at the high school. We kicked off October with an amazing football game against Leominster, really big win. It was super exciting, with over 2,600 tickets sold and another 2,700 people watching online on our student media broadcast, which was so great to see the community support both in person and online. I'd also like to recognize our MIAA student ambassadors for this year, Jayla Bertrand, Chris Pickett, and Sydney Marshall. They'll be representing Wachusett at the state level, and we're very proud of them. And in other MIAA news, Mr. Guerin was named Golf Coach of the Year, and we know he'll continue to do great things for the program. Next up is Homecoming Week, which always brings a lot of excitement around here. And the homecoming dance will be held on Saturday, October 25th from 6 to 9 p.m. in the gym. Tickets are being sold electronically through the app GoFan from October 6th through the 15th at 2:10 p.m. Tickets are non-transferable, and students will need to use their school email as an access code to purchase.
We'll also have our traditional Spirit Week leading up to the dance and with some fun themes each day. So Monday we have Pajama Day, Tuesday Jersey Day, Wednesday Country versus Country Club, Thursday Adam Sandler Day, and Friday Class Spirit Day. On Thursday, October 23rd, we'll be holding a freshman parent meeting from 6 to 7 p.m. Topics of discussion will include the role of school counselor, graduation requirements, and tips for making the most of the high school experience here at Wachusett. And finally, a quick reminder that the PSAT will be given on October 18th. And that is all from us for now. And thank you for your continued support of our students and programs.
Thanks, Colleen and Grace. Now, next on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much. So we have a quick in the news section, and also we're going to then defer to Director DeAngelis for a special education update. But wanted to share first some high school news. The fall concert is going to take place this Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the auditorium. Always a strong performance for anyone who's interested. Girls soccer is off to a strong start with a 7-1-2 record. And boys golf has 2 tournaments coming up. The Midwatch tournament is this Thursday, and then the Division I West Sectional tournament will be next week. Much like our student reps, want to shout out an incredible comeback victory over Leominster in football. I've been waiting 4 years for Wachusett to beat Leominster, and I'm very thankful. However, I have to make a confession. I may have left angry at halftime when they were trailing 30 to 14. And so I have learned from our students, as we always learn from our students, that perseverance and never giving up are truly important. So congratulations to the boys football team. And they're off to a 4-0 start. So pretty incredible, pretty incredible. And then secondly, I just want to add my heartfelt congratulations to Davis Hill Elementary School. Davis Hill is one of approximately 60 schools that has been named a School of Recognition by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. It's a distinction that you earn when you've made progress towards your accountability goals, with an emphasis on both math and ELA. In particular, I think they made, in speaking to Principal Jay Norton, they had made a lot of growth in special education. And so want to congratulate the students, the staff, and the administration of Davis Hill for an absolutely incredible job. It's my hope that we'll be able to invite the Davis Hill community to our meeting in November when we present our MCAS data and report on that progress. But just a great job from them, and congratulations. And with that, I want to defer to Director DeAngelis to give us a special education update in the district.
Good evening. I want to thank you all for inviting me tonight to present this evening. There are many updates that I'm really excited to share with you, and I appreciate your time and attention as we delve into some heavy topics, but all good news on the special education front. It's really important to kind of look back before we look forward and ahead on the progress that we've made. So I just wanted to note that when I arrived to the district, it was evident that there were some systems that were really lacking in special ed, and there was notable absence of consistency in practice, which such a large district, 13 schools, 1,100 students on IEPs, really important that we are looking at how are we providing services to students, are our practices consistent, and are we adhering to both state and federal regulations? And it was clear to me after that assessment that many of the decisions that were being made were not in line with the spirit of the law that was intended to protect and support students with disabilities. So to address these issues effectively, a comprehensive assessment of the special ed programming was necessary. So I think I reported to you last year that we really looked at staffing across the district, and we increased professional staffing through attrition. There were about 17 professional positions that were added to our special ed program to better serve our students. And this certainly can help, identify the gaps and inconsistencies in service provision, which we had a lot of difficulty, and I think I reported that through PRS complaints. Parents were concerned were services being delivered in a consistent way. So adding staff members and making sure we kind of had a level playing field and the right staff at the right schools was really important. The other thing that happened was we aligned service providers to locations, and we evaluated caseloads, and we looked at the service delivery needs to ensure appropriate resources for each of the 13 schools. So that was real foundational work that was important to make sure that students were getting what they needed. So, some of the service provision that I've mentioned, we didn't have service delivery reports that we could rely on. And thanks to Mr. Sklar, our Director of Technology, he created some of those service delivery reports that really helped us identify what are the services that students require at each school, and how do we align staff to provide those services. So that was really important work that happened, and we started to look at caseloads that were really unbalanced. We had some people that had these huge caseloads, and other people's caseloads weren't full. So last year we started making adjustments, but this year we looked at it district-wide. So I worked with the principals, we looked at all the service providers, and we aligned all of the service providers for all of the 13 schools. I can't tell you, that's about 50 people. It was a huge amount of work. Principals were really involved in that work with me. And because we've added team chairs to our schools, we not only aligned appropriate services to our schools, we also aligned the days in which they were at the school. So there's time for consultation, so that service providers, special ed teachers, team chairs, school psychologists all have time to have conversations. We all have team meeting days where everybody is in the same building at the same time. So why is that important? If you're working in one building and traveling to another, that takes time, and it takes time away from students. So this year was a huge alignment of all the schools. So I'm really proud of that work. I met with the OT department today. It seems like the way we've allocated resources is going quite well. So I've gotten some feedback from them, and I'll be working with the speech people probably later next month. So the other piece that I want to really talk about is the responsible management of expenditures. It was pretty clear when I got here that resource allocation was not clear. And pinpointing expenditures of the department and how resources were allocated is really critical to a district. So when I came, there were times where students are in our district. They may be getting services, but another district should also be involved. And I don't think that we were really looking at if there's two parents that live in two different districts, both have equal responsibility. Wachusett was taking on that responsibility 100%. So really evaluating who's responsible fiscally for students is really important as part of looking at a resource allocation. I think the other thing is we have students who are here that under a number of circumstances. So, you know, we have group homes in our communities. We have students in foster care in our communities. We have students that are IEPs that live here in the district that attend our schools. That allows us the opportunity to bill back those districts for those services that we are providing. We had not been doing that. So for the last 2 years, we've billed back in year one $200,000, last year $200,000. So we're giving resources, but we need to make sure that we're using them appropriately and billing back there. The other thing that we started doing was really looking at our students that were out of district and progress monitoring. I think that one of the things I told you last time I was here was we didn't really have a system to track graduation and credits, and kids were often going beyond their 12th grade year because they didn't have the right courses or we weren't tracking credit, so they were going beyond. And that puts them at risk, right, to drop out. And I'm going to talk about that later. But the other thing is we also weren't looking at those students who were doing extremely well and considering least restrictive environment and bringing them back to the district. So in the last couple of years, we have brought several students back to our programs. Parents have been very supportive. They see their students are making progress. If they can be in our district, we have an educationally rich resources to provide them. Parents want their kids in their home schools if they can be here. So we have been working on bringing students back with parent support. So the progress towards goals, these slides, I don't know if they look familiar to some of you, but these are from last year. So I thought it was really important for us to kind of look back because I identified some goals that I really felt like I wanted to hit last year. So this was a little test. Did we do these things from last year, from October 7th to 2024? These are goals that I identified that we would work on. So I'm not going to read through them all, but I will tell you, thank you, Barry, we have done all of these things. We did the root cause analysis from the determination data. The procedural manual is online. We did 2 years of co-teaching for the middle school educators. We did an independent eval at the ECC. We've done more than explore unified offerings at the Wachusett Regional High School. We've added several courses. We've explored opportunities to expand inclusive practices, and there's lots of great professional development going on for all providers in the district. In addition, I took a look at what are the long-term goals and where are we with that? So I feel like we accomplished those initial goals, but here's the second set of goals, and you'll see 2 slides. The ones in yellow we're working on, and the ones in green we have accomplished. So we have expanded, and we're working on our in-district program. So while we don't have specific inclusion programming at a school for students on the autism spectrum, that is something that we've identified as a need. What we've done is we have, right now, the TLC services both of those populations. So we've separated those students in 2 separate classrooms at the current school they're at. So we are working on thinking about where could those students, in which school could they best be served? We've moved away, you know, this is a thing for me. We're looking at students with abilities, not disabilities. We've worked on program brochures. Our Rutland brochures are just about to be released, and so are the high schools. So we have changed those names from the developmental program to RISE 1 and RISE 2, Naquag and Glenwood. And Central Tree is now the Central Step program, and the high school is Step 1 and Step 2. So I promise I will get those brochures out to you. We were just polishing them up this afternoon. You know, a really important thing for me is really embedding instructional support in the general ed setting and ensuring sacred instructional time is adhered to. So this is work I did with the principals last year. We really looked at student schedules and we said, when are we taking them out of general ed to provide service provision? We had too many students being pulled out during those content-based lessons. And I think you're going to see some really good results when I report later on the special ed determination data that making sure that kids aren't missing the main lesson is really important. We pull kids out of education to fill a gap, and we end up creating one. So we have to be really mindful of that every single day. And I think that the principals have really created structures and schedules that make sure that students are getting that rich educational experience. And then expanding co-teaching to the elementary level, that's in partial because November 4th, that's our journey. That's when we begin our co-teaching. We're having inclusive practice professional development for K to 5. In our grades 3 to 5, general educators and special educators will begin their journey on the co-teaching model at the elementary level. So here's some other long-term goals. Pursue additional unified extracurriculum programs at the high school and middle school levels. So you know we have unified track and we have unified basketball that we've added. In addition, we are working to have Wachusett inclusive basketball. We're starting to work with Central Tree and Choxit. I have a very energized co-chair, Best Buddies co-chair, Cassie Brennan, who has been really working with principals and myself to expand those opportunities at the middle school level. And we have interest, so we're really excited about that. We're not calling it unified because there isn't a big contingent of middle school around that have unified sports, but I think if Wachusett builds it, maybe we will grow the program around us and get other schools to start programs and we can become a unified program. Again, establishing Best Buddies at the middle school level, the International Best Buddies program at the high school is alive and well. Friday night, they just had a staff versus student basketball game. That was their first fundraiser of the year. And they are looking to bring and partner with some middle school students to begin to develop that this year. So another long-term goal was to improve relationships with parents and streamline problem resolution. We have an 80% reduction in PRS cases from the first year I was here to this past year. So that's significant. That means that the work that we are doing as a department is addressing parents' concerns over time. We have already implemented the team chair model district-wide. We have one more position to fill in Paxton and Princeton. We're hoping that team chair will be joining us on December 1st. We are working around really making sure parents know that we are here for Child Find to identify students with special ed. So Corinne Balick has done an excellent job about reaching out to families to say, we're here, do you have concerns? I'm doing that in my office to send out notices to private school and homeschool parents to make sure we're identifying students early who may have a disability. And then you see join a collaborative as a check because you know and you approved us joining CAPS Collaborative this year. So this is just the slides from last year, but really significant progress from where we were. So I'm going to move to strategic planning. I'm going to have a sip of water first. In the past, I've been asked a lot about why special ed doesn't have a separate strategic plan. And I really want to address that tonight. In today's educational landscape, it's crucial to recognize that special ed should be an integral component of the district-wide strategic plan rather than having its own plan. This approach not only ensures equity, but fosters inclusion for all students. Equity in education means we're providing all students with all the necessary tools and resources they need to succeed, regardless of their individual challenges. When we treat special ed as a separate entity, it can create barriers and prevent students with disabilities from receiving the same educational opportunities as their peers. By including special ed as part of the district-wide plan, we can ensure that all students have access to high-quality education tailored to specific needs. Furthermore, inclusion is not just a best practice, it's a fundamental right for students with disabilities. Implementing a district-wide approach promotes collaborative teaching environments where students with diverse abilities learn from one another. In the next few slides, I'm going to share with you the ways in which special ed is aligned to the district strategic plan. So you can see over the last 2 years, we've completed a program evaluation. We've created an early childhood center task force to look at the preschool and consider those classes. We facilitated middle school co-teaching, and where teachers are co-planning, co-instructing, and co-assessing. We developed 2 new unified courses, civics and psychology last year, and we have a new vocational teacher to support internships in the community. This year, we're increasing co-teaching offerings at the high school level. Right now, there are 26 co-taught classes at the high school, and this year, we implemented a new unified health course. I think I've mentioned earlier that we're doing inclusive practice and co-teaching training. The high school and middle school alignment PD study will happen this year. We're going to really look at what we do, doing tutorial and academic support at the middle school level, and how does that align with what we're doing at the high school. So really focusing on study skills, teaching study skills, and teaching executive functioning skills, and really building the capacity at the middle school level so we're prepared to support the students when they come to the high school. This year, I'm really excited. If you didn't see it in the peak, Mr. Canacchioli is very excited about this as well. We have started a unified middle school course, an ancient civilization course at Central Tree. So this is, you start at the high school and then you start looking backwards to join what we're doing at the high school at the middle school level. So this is our first endeavor to pilot this new unified course. And then we are offering, we hired a teacher this year to offer intensive instructional supports through small group teaching. So for students who need more intense instructional supports, Glenwood has a program called RISE, and we are finding that kids are ready for more inclusive experiences. So we need to have new pathways developed for those kids that are really ready for more instruction. They may not be functioning at grade level, they may need intensive instruction, but they are ready to gain more skills. So we added a teacher at Central Tree to make sure that every student is getting the rigor they need to grow. So this first objective around deeper learning continues. I just wanted to talk about the internships. I watched Becky's presentation with you last week, and this is some of the things that we're doing in special education to support our students. We have several internships available. The high school has the Buddy Way Cafe. Students are working in the kitchen, the media center, and the school store. They have jobs around our K-8 schools in the district. They also have community-based jobs at Anna Maria College, Wachusett Recycling, the Y, Thrifty Auto, Sterling Gym, and D&D Liquidators. So when we're looking at things that we're doing with other high school students, we need to do that for our students as well. We need to grow every skill so they can be as employable as possible and give them all the opportunities that we provide other students. Our post-high school students, last year, the program was called Macy at Quinn Sig. We joined, and it was a course on how to be a college student. They changed their name this summer to MAPSE, Massachusetts Inclusive Post-Secondary Education. And this year, we have students enrolled in courses at Quinn Sig. So this is an inclusive model at a college to provide students an opportunity to learn along non-disabled peers and to take part in social activities and access campus resources. So these are all the things that we're doing strategically to deeper learning in the special ed department. So the second objective is MTSS. So last year, we did a year-long journey with our SLPs, speech and language pathologists, and assistants on MTSS and providing interventions in the classroom. So why did we do this? We want to really work on building Tier 1 instruction and supporting our students in the classroom. So instead of waiting for the gap to get wider, we have speech and language pathologists working with teachers to build Tier 1 instruction to support students in the classroom and assist with any gaps that may exist. Provided integrated SEL opportunities in the pre-K class. That's actually happening this year. We have someone we've contracted with to come and integrate and teach our teachers of how to integrate social emotional learning in our pre-K classrooms. And then I've talked about realigning the schedules and sacred learning time, so I'm not gonna talk about that more, but there's a lot of work going on here for MTSS. This year, we have our occupational therapists and our speech and language therapists in our kindergarten classrooms working with all the students across the district. So how can we build fine motor skills in the classroom and support our teachers? How can we help our young ones answer those WH questions? So we're building capacity to provide interventions before we identify them through special education. So building district-wide systems and structures. I've talked about this from earlier. We have the district website with our procedural manual. We provided lots of training on the new Massachusetts IEP with families. We created parent and student-friendly input forms for the new IEP. We reviewed all the district-wide positions and aligned them as there was needs in the district. This year, we developed the team chair role district-wide to improve communication and supports with families. I think I talked about last year really having somebody at the building, as the face of the building, as the face of special ed to be able to respond to parents. I think it was a really hard balance for assistant principals to be the team chair and do the duties of an assistant principal. So we have done a really nice job adding team chairs, and I think it's going to be so beneficial to the district. And then this year, we created an inclusive pre-K classroom that was substantially separate last year that now has peers. So if you have a chance and you want to come visit our preschool, I invite you to see the benefits of the orange room of having neurotypical peers with our students at the preschool. So that's been really exciting. So we're really looking at our structures and inclusivity across all the levels. Culture, belonging, wellness, objective 4. I've talked about the unified sports and the best buddies. We have an attendance task force. I will talk a little bit about the why of the attendance task force when I get to the special ed determination part of this report. We have increased school adjustment counselors district-wide to support SEL. Our TLC programs all now have dedicated school adjustment counselors to support the students in those programs. We have the YMCA partnership. Adults go to Unified Gym. They don't go to Unified PE, they go to the gym. So we go out to the YMCA a couple of times a week with our adult students. They've really enjoyed that and made relationships with other adults in the community. And I've talked about inclusive basketball and Best Buddies already, but I just wanted to add those things so you could see how we've aligned with the strategic plan. Okay. So I believe Dr. Riley shared with you the integrated monitoring review last June. This is when DESE comes in and really looks very closely at the special ed department. They conduct this every 3 years to assess the district's compliance with various criteria. This year, they looked at our Group A universal standards, which is student identification, IEP development, programming and support services, and equal opportunity. So 38 criteria were comprehensively reviewed as part of this process. So no, I'm not going to present that 60-page report because I know you have it, but it's very comprehensive. And the good news is that, 36 of the 38 areas were deemed to be fully implemented, and the 3 civil rights criteria reviewed were also fully implemented. So what does fully implemented mean? It means that the district has substantially met all the important aspects of the evaluation criteria, demonstrating effective progresses and compliance in those areas. This is another measure that indicates significant progress the district has made. There were, however, 2 criteria that were classified as partially implemented. And this designation indicates that while progress has been made in this area, there are still improvements needed to fully satisfy the criteria, and the district is expected to address these areas to ensure compliance moving forward. So I'm sharing with you the 2 areas that we received partially implemented. SE7, transfer of parent rights. This is sending out notices prior to kids being 18 and letting them know their rights in terms of what the students' rights will the rights of the students will be transferred at age 18, and that students have a choice. They can A, make decisions on their own, B, share it with their parents, or they can delegate their decision making. So that's one area that we weren't consistently sending out notices that we need to work on. The second one was the determination of placement and provision of IEP to the parent. So this is a little tricky. So if we provide a service delivery grid and goals to parents, in the past we had 10 days to get the IEP out to the parent. So I was writing corrective action this summer that was due on 8/29, and on 8/15 I found out they had reinterpreted the law and immediately meant that is defined now as 5 days following the IEP meeting. So we have to make sure that when we have an IEP meeting on a Monday, by the following Monday, we have delivered that IEP to the parent. So that's going to probably change our practice a little bit. I think it's going to be really important that we probably come into meetings with some drafted goals to review with parents, because getting a complete document that's thorough is really important to me, and I think that we're going to have to do some of that work ahead of time, which we have started to do. So the last data point that I wanted to share with you tonight was, and I'm not going to do all the criteria. Last year, I really described the report in detail, and it was a lot of information, but this is the IDEA annual determination of need. Every year, IDEA must make annual determinations regarding each school district's specific need for technical assistance or intervention in special education. And Massachusetts does so based on the following criteria. So when I came here last year, I think we were all concerned that we were in the needs. Barry, you're one slide ahead of me. Can you go back one? Thank you. We were in the needs intervention category, which caused us to have to put 1% of our save 1% of our federal funding. We had to participate in root cause analysis with the Department of Ed last year. And I am more than pleased to tell you that we have really dug into this work. And this year, in 1 year, we received a meets requirements. So I can't congratulate the staff enough for the work that we did on this report. And I just want to give you like a couple of highlights from that report, because one of the things I was really focused on was, 1, the MCAS data, and 2, we looked at graduation and attendance rates. So I think I came last year and told you that we had 20 students that had dropped out in the 22 school year, and that was very concerning to me. So when we looked at all of those students, we dug back in root cause analysis, and what we found is the theme for those students was attendance. They were not coming to school consistently. So we went back, and this is not a high school problem. I just want to say this is not a high school problem. We went all the way back to elementary school. We started to look at the pattern of attendance, and we tied non-attendance with kids not earning their diploma. So this year, when I said to you, we have established an attendance committee, that's why. And it's not just for special ed. We have to look at all kids. We have to make sure kids are coming to school, that they're engaged. And if they've missed school, we have a way to re-engage them and make up the work they've missed. And so we went all the way back. We did that work. Last year, the high school group, Shanna Haber, Shanna Connor, myself, Principal Pratt, we really looked at our data and we started looking at our students to say, who are we worried about? Who's on our watch list? So I have to tell you, I'm really pleased to report that 47 out of the 55 kids last year that graduated earned their diploma. 4 of those students went on to our 18 to 22 post-high school program. 3 students remained on with us because they needed more credits, but they did finish and they did graduate. And 3 students, because of the change in the MCAS, the competency determination, they did earn their high school diploma. So last year, we really had 2 dropouts. So we significantly looked at the attendance and really engaging with students, and we earned points in both of those areas on our special ed determination data. The other point I just want to make is I've talked about inclusion until, the hills come home, why kids need to be in inclusion, right? That's just my mantra, I think. It's a big deal. Sacred time is a big deal, and I'll tell you why. District-wide, we started that initiative probably last year, mid-year, really looking at schedules and making some shifts. Our inclusion rates went up 4% district-wide. So that's significant in a short amount of time. We're having conversations with families about providing services in the inclusive classroom. When we got our MCAS data, if you look at grades 4, 8, and 10 of math, we earned all the points in all of those categories for all of the grade levels. Significant growth in that area. So when you have high quality teaching, and I work very closely with the teaching learning department, and high quality materials, and you have an inclusion, students in inclusion, you're getting very strong results. And so they had 2 years of the new math curriculum. We have more inclusion happening. Students are really making gains in those areas. In terms of ELA, I don't want to forget about ELA. The high school earned both points in ELA. I think it's a lot of the co-teaching they're doing at the high school. And they did fantastic. The elementary, 4th grade and 8th grade, each category, they earned 1 of the 2 points. But what I'll tell you is last year was our first year of the rollout of the new curriculum. So I expect the results to improve as we add kids into the inclusion setting. So you can see the points and the percentage and the ratings, but I really feel like in a year for us to go from needs intervention to meets requirements is a huge success. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, discussion? Member Poole, then Member Kirschenbaum.
Thank you for this report. I just had one quick question that you mentioned early on. You said that you made adjustments, for cost sharing. So if the student has a parent in two different districts, I'm just curious about the logistics of that and how that works. Like, is there any criteria for, do both parents have to be in a district in Massachusetts? Or
Both, and they have to have equal custody, yes.
Okay.
But we have a lot of those situations where parents share custody, kids spend time with both parents.
And you split it 50%?
And we share the costs, educational costs,
It's
yes.
like 50%.
50-50.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Member Kirschenbaum?
I just want to acknowledge my gratitude and in how much work has been done to date to make improvements for our students. I think that when you arrived, I think it's a fair assessment to say that the SPED services and the program was less than ideal, to put it mildly. So I do appreciate that the work is being done to date, and to go from a needs improvement to meets expectations is great. I think that the efficiency and the efficacy that we experienced with the building and finance, the business and finance department sets an expectation and standard our district would like to achieve in all our departments in terms of righting the ship. And unfortunately, that's the expectation that I think that bar has been set. What I would ask from you is, what can be said to parents who may say that my experience has not changed enough for my child? And what can the district do to engage with that perspective?
I think it's a partnership. I think there's always situations where we're going to have to agree to disagree. But I think if we come in with data-driven decision-making, and this is something we're going to work on this year with CPAC, I hope, is really coming in with data points so parents really have a good understanding of where is my child in terms of grade level standards, and what data are you bringing in to support the recommendations. I think those things help. I don't think that that has happened consistently across the district, and I think the more data points that we use around grade level instruction, the better we're going to partner with families.
Yeah. May I have some latitude to ask a few more questions? Thank you. If all the resources that you need were allocated, and all the process systems implemented with fidelity across the district, what evidence would you be presenting in future meetings that would support the implementation of such changes and how it impacts student achievement?
Okay, so this feels like my wish list.
Yes, that's what I'm asking for. It's like, what do we need and to get us to where we need to be for our kids?
So I would love to see that we were at least 75% of our students in full inclusion. So if we were going to have a truly co-taught model at the elementary level, you have to have teachers, like a third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade special ed teacher at your elementary levels to be able to provide authentic co-teaching, because I think that that is something I look at and think about all the time. It's really hard for me to answer that question because some schools are, have 2 grade levels and other schools have 5 or 6 grade levels. But I think, staff allocation and special ed teachers being able to authentically co-teach and co-plan, and knowing that 75% of our students are in inclusion and getting grade level content, I think would really move the bar for us.
So it sounds like you're proposing that more staff would be needed to make that happen.
We probably would need more special ed teachers, yes.
And it sounds to me like there's a significant amount of professional development and training that would be needed to make that partnership within a co-teaching classroom really seamless, since it's a brand new model that's being implemented. And so I guess I would just ask the district to ensure that we are getting in future budget proposals an accurate picture of what the resources are to promote the kind of special ed program that we need, that our kids need, and that our parents want.
Through the chair.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
And just say absolutely, Member Kirschenbaum. I think Director DeAngelis has taken as far as she can in terms of establishing efficiencies and looking to see where there are some positions that maybe we don't need. And we are at the point where we have to ask ourselves, what do we need to add to really make this model work? And to her point, I think it is additional special education teachers at specific levels for us to support co-teaching across the district. I think the other thing, and she's mentioned it a little bit, but along with student support, is our guidance model. We're in decent shape in some of our schools where we've made adjustments, and we certainly have increased our FTEs across the district. But you look at a school like Glenwood, I know Director DeAngelis talked to me earlier this year. Glenwood, Central Tree in particular, those are two schools that we've identified that need additional guidance staff right now to help support their programming. So that's one I would add on top of what she had shared.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have
Member Rundstrom?
a few
No,
things.
fine.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for that presentation. I think it's so important to look backwards and like give ourselves some credit for the stuff that we've accomplished, because I think it's easy to lose sight of that over time, that there's so much going on that you need to take a moment every once in a while and say, we've actually accomplished all of these things that we wanted to do. So thank you very much for that. And I think it does speak to one place I think we still need to, there's still, although we've made a lot of progress, there's still some places we need to challenge ourselves. I think I hear again and again around communication with parents is something that we need to challenge ourselves to do better with. And I think many people don't know all the stuff that you just said tonight, right? Which is great that we're saying it tonight and, publicly and people know about it. But I think we do need to challenge ourselves to how to get that word out more broadly. I do have a couple of questions, if I can. I mean, if you want to speak to that, that's fine, but I have a couple specific questions. One thing that I've heard from I'm really excited about the team chairs. Sorry about my mic here. I'm really excited about the team chairs at all of our schools, because I feel like one complaint that I've heard over time is just around with the assistant principal model that we had. People didn't always have the training that they should have had, and sometimes things weren't handled correctly. So could you just speak a little bit about what the qualifications are of a team chair and what training they get to ensure that they are, with everything in special ed, there's so many requirements, there's so many things that you should be doing and need to do to support our children in the correct way. So what are the qualifications for that team chair role, and what is the training that they get?
So DESE does not have a specific team chair licensure, so I want to be really clear about that. I think that when we've brought people on board, we're really looking for people to understand the federal and state regulations. We want them to understand disability identification and how kids qualify for special ed, and then really know all the components, the essential components of the IEP. I think those are really the major factors. We have really been fortunate to have some high quality people apply for positions in here who have had previous team chairing experience. Our coordinators, Dana Walton and Katie Gianetti, have really taken our new chairs under their wing. They have done chairing for many, many years. And this year, in the past, I probably had a group of 30 sitting in front of me. It's hard to do anything consistently with 30 people chairing meetings. Now we have a much smaller group. I meet with them monthly. We have agendas that we work on professional practice areas to grow our practice, so we're doing things consistently. But Katie and Dana have also taken the lead on meeting with them on the off week that I don't meet with them, and building our practice with them, so we're doing things consistently throughout the district.
That's great. Does the team chair have any role with training the other people in a school? Because we're saying we want 75% of our kids fully included, which is fantastic as far as I'm concerned. But that means we have a lot of classroom teachers that maybe it's the first child they've ever had with special needs in their class in the last 10 years. So do the team chairs provide support so these people know what they're doing?
Yeah, I think that consult model that I talked about of people being in the building at the same time and meeting at the same time and talking about delivery of service is one piece, but I also think that the new IEP lends perfectly to those conversations in the building. We are starting with less restrictive environment. That non-justification page has gone away. We have to now justify why are we taking students out of the general ed classroom. And I think we have a lot of conversations about that in our meetings. And I even have parents saying, I don't want you to pull my students out of general ed, because I think they realize how important that instruction is. And they've asked us, what can you do in the classroom? Or if you do pull them out, how is that going to impact what's happening, or what might they miss? So I think that we have evolved in having those conversations through the new Massachusetts IEP, which has been really helpful.
Yeah, that's great. And I wanted to call attention to something you mentioned is the procedural manuals. The procedural manual is now on the website, I believe, that documents a lot of our procedures.
It sure
in
is.
special education. Is that now complete on the website?
I'm sorry?
Is it complete? Is everything up on the website now?
Yes.
Procedural manual? That's excellent. So I think, people at home, you should know that that's there, because again, I'm not sure we always get the word out. One simple question from me, and I might have asked this before, so I apologize, but you talked about courses, you talked about co-taught courses and unified courses, and we have both at the high school.
We do.
Can you explain what the difference is between a unified course and a
Yeah.
co-taught course?
The unified courses are courses where students of all abilities have the opportunity to come into a unified course. So we have a civics course that students participate in with neurotypical peers. And what we're doing is we may be significantly modifying the reading content. Maybe students are not reading or writing at grade level. That doesn't mean they can't learn the content alongside their peers. The assessments may be altered or different. The reading materials may be modified. We have some really good technology that can make the reading accessible. So we're trying to make coursework for all students accessible through unified courses. Our co-taught courses are really about a general ed teacher and a special ed teacher, really focused on grade level content. And they may be providing different tools to the toolbox in terms of modifications and accommodations in the classroom. But it's really to narrow that gap towards grade level standards. So that's the difference between the two.
Okay. Thank you. And I think the last thing I would like to see, and not necessarily tonight, but just in terms of when I was talking about communication, what's next? Like, what's our plan? We've done so much good stuff over the past 2 years. I think people would really like to hear in a future presentation, what are our big plans? Sort of going back to what Laura said. What else could we do if we, what would we like to get in the next 5 years?
Yep, the work is not done. There's a lot of things in yellow up there, so
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Member Klein?
Thank you for your presentation, and thanks also to your team for all of the effort. I had I think probably more than one question, or just I'm seeking clarification about the use of the word inclusion and what it means. You referred to inclusion rates. I'm wondering how they're measured and whether inclusion is really a continuum of things, meaning there's a little bit of inclusion, moderate amount of inclusion, and then full inclusion, whether they're different tiers.
There are. So DESE describes the IEP in different tiers of inclusion rate. So inclusion is the general ed classroom. So when I talk about inclusion, it's how many students are participating in the general ed classroom 80% of the time or more.
Oh, it's 80% of the
Yeah, so that's what we're looking, that's our target. That's what the Department of Ed's target is. When we look at the IEP, if you are above that target, you're considered in full inclusion. If it's between 25 and 75, it's partial inclusion. Then it's substantially separate. If your education is 60% or more outside of the special ed, in a special ed classroom, is outside of the general ed classroom.
Okay, thank you. Another question, you mentioned adult students, I think, in reference to the YMCA program, and I'm wondering how adult students are, is that age 18, or what does it mean?
So we have students that stay with us beyond high school because they require a different level of service. So we have students between 18 and 21 plus. They stay with us until the day before they turn 22, and we offer a different level of service to those students. So those are students that we are providing maybe college program, I think I mentioned, at Quincy, job coaching out in the community. We're trying to get them prepared for employment. And so some of those students are not on a diploma track, but require different types of skills to help them become more independent in their lives. So we also do like independent living skills, like cooking, laundry, all the things that you need to be a successful adult. So we work on those skills post-high school.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Director DeAngelis, thanks so much. Did you want to say
Thank
something?
you.
Sorry.
I just wanted to say one thing is, I just want to acknowledge to all the parents in terms of, special education and the district as a whole, we realize there's still a lot of work to do. And I certainly know Director DeAngelis has even higher expectations than myself. I know that for a fact in terms of what she's hoping for in special education. But I do want to acknowledge that when we still look at our achievement data, whether it be special education or all students, there's a ton of work that still needs to happen in the district in terms of helping kids achieve more. And then also, much like the district, I think we acknowledge that we still have parents who are frustrated and feel like we're not changing quick enough. And I think it's just important for us to acknowledge that to everyone and to pledge that we will continue to try to make that situation better every year. So, thank you.
Great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
so much. Okay. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda for the Secretary's report, which includes the executive session minutes of the September 8th meeting and the regular session minutes of the September 22nd meeting. Has everyone had time to review the executive session minutes? Yes. Thank you. If anyone has any questions or discussion on those, they'll be removed from the consent agenda so that they can be discussed in an executive session at a future meeting. Before I accept a motion, does anyone want anything removed from the consent agenda? Seeing nothing, I will now accept a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the following motions: to approve the executive session minutes of September 8th, 2025, and to approve the regular meeting minutes of September 22nd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Shannon and Scott. We will now move to a roll call vote.
Member Lorway? Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Runstrom?
Renstrom, yes.
Member Poole?
Poole, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Borison? Borison, yes. Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Lorway? Chair Salmon Garrett.
The chair abstained, and the motion passes. Next up is committee business. For the first two motions, which are second readings of policies, be reminded that per policy 1520 policy development, there are no amendments on second readings of policies. I will now accept a motion to affirm policy 7161, policy relating to support operations, naming of school property and grounds, second reading, waiving the reading.
So moved.
Second.
Brett and, who was second? And Laura. Is there any discussion?
Me.
Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Member Poole?
Poole, yes.
Member Borison? Borison, yes. Member Lorway? Member Renstrom?
Renstrom, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Chair Salmon Garrett.
The chair abstains, and the motion passes. Next, I will accept a motion to amend policy 7159, policy relating to support operations, vandalism, second reading, waiving the reading.
So moved.
Second.
Brett and Shannon. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Borison? Borison, yes. Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Poole?
Poole, yes.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Renstrom?
Renstrom, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Lorway? Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Chair Salmon Garrett.
The chair abstains, and the motion passes. Next, I will accept a motion to adopt policy 3370, policy relating to education, middle school pathway exploration, first reading, waiving the reading.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Brett and Shannon. First, would the administration or anyone from policy like to speak to the need for this policy?
I can speak to it.
Member Beardmore?
Yeah, basically, I want to refer back to the September 22nd full committee where Becky spoke to this concept, the need, and basically requirement from DESE. Basically, this policy really follows what's being asked of us from DESE, so hopefully in your review, it really just kind of aligned check by check by check. I think the key points here is really around timing, that just a reminder that we have to get this done by November 1st. A couple points that I had asked Becky on top of this was, there's a record retention period. You know, we have to retain the records, and she recommended 7 years. I also asked and confirmed that we can retain the records electronically. So I wanted to bring those points to the group. That's all I really wanted to cover.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Is there any other questions or discussion?
We have, we have one more meeting before November 1st?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this, yeah, we'll follow up on October 22nd and then get it
And
done.
they'll do a quick upload if we, if
Exactly.
it all goes through.
Exactly.
I did speak to the administration. I had some concerns. It seemed like there was a lot of procedure in this policy, but that's the way DESE wants the policy written.
Yeah.
So they're, you know, the two things that we're supposed to technically separate, they're asking to put together. So this is, the administration had worked with other districts to figure out how they were working on it, and there was a consensus about how this was working, so.
And because this is new, we'll probably be revisiting this in the next couple of years and refining it, so.
When DESE changes their minds, I don't think.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a work in progress, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Okay, great. Any other questions or discussion? Nope. All right, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Member Renstrom?
Lindstrom, yes.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Lorway?
Lorway, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Borison? Borison, yes. Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Poole?
Cool, yes.
Chair Senator Garrett?
The chair abstains and the motion passes. Next, I will accept a motion to amend policy 6637, policy relating to pupil services, animals in schools, first reading, waiving the reading.
So moved.
Second.
Brett and Laura. Member Beardmore, would you like
Yeah.
to speak to this policy?
Yeah, thank you. Basically, it's described pretty well in the superintendent's report, but basically, legal counsel recommended that we take our 6637 animal in schools and split them out into two policies. Basically, just to avoid any lapse in policy coverage in this area, the decision was made to bring forth 6638 to the full committee immediately instead of referring it to the policy subcommittee. Basically, we want to make the edits and bring in the new policy kind of at the same time, but we gotta make sure we have the new one ready and then edit the existing one, if that makes sense. It's important that we go through the right steps.
Is there any questions or discussion on 6637? Member Klein?
I read both 6638 and 6637, and I was kind of benchmarking them against each other because of the split. I think that I sensed that there were some elements that were left on one side but didn't make it to the other side. And as an example, 6637 in photo 1 on page 2 includes reference to the need for rabies, proof of rabies vaccination for an animal to come into the buildings. That 6638 doesn't make reference to rabies at all. And you know, so it doesn't matter whether it's a service animal or not. If a fur-bearing mammal is coming into the building, I think you probably need to know that as part of the protocol.
Member, do you have, I wonder if it has something to do with the ADA and the law around service animals, but do you have any?
No, I don't. I have to take that back. I would have to
No,
take that back.
it is something that service animals are required to have.
Okay,
And so I guess one comment I would make is don't bury the rabies requirement in the footnote, bring it forward. The principal needs to know they're looking for a rabies certificate
okay,
for an animal to come in the building. Approval. That's what's implied
okay,
in the overall reading.
okay. So do you have an amendment you want to make to the policy, or?
I would make a I would make a specific amendment where in in DP 6637, I suggest an amendment related to no animal shall be brought to the school without prior permission of the building principal. Somehow, there should be a phrase in there. With proof of current rabies vaccination. And that's stated way at the end on page 2 or 3 in the footnote, but I think it should be brought forward.
Okay.
So do you need me to try to restate that?
Yeah, if there's I need to pull up the, I need to pull up the actual policy.
Yeah,
Let's,
that's
pull it
that
up
second
and see.
sentence, right, in 6637.
Yeah, it's a second, it's kind of
Yeah.
the second paragraph, second sentence.
Okay.
Yeah, no animal shall be brought to school without prior permission of the building principal
Mm-hmm.
And appropriate.
and appropriate review of rabies vaccination
Okay.
detail.
So that's a motion for an amendment. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second.
Yeah. What? Who seconded?
It was me,
Thank you,
Jamie.
Jamie. It was Jamie.
And,
Okay.
yeah, there were a couple people saying,
Okay.
but
Okay, so now we move on to, oh, this is new for my chair bingo card. We move on to
debating the amendment.
debating the amendment. So does anybody have any questions or discussion about the addition of the language? Yes.
I can't ask for rabies inclusion for service.
Okay.
But this policy isn't about the
isn't the-
service
this is-
animals. This is the other policy.
Okay.
So I think
This is
we're-
6637.
Sorry.
Yes.
Well, okay, so,
You may want to take it up.
point of order. I think if we're taking up the service animal, that was the motion that we had. This is a
We-
out of order motion because it's not the right policy.
I am a little confused, because I read the motion that's on the table is for 6637, so maybe I lost track of what we were,
Okay, no, I
Working on?
retract that, because you're right. I thought we were on 3338, sorry, 6638.
yeah.
You're right.
So, okay, so we're discussing an amendment to 6637 to add language to the second sentence about appropriate review of rabies vaccination. Yes? And is this not something that came up with so just to clarify for myself, this is your concern that it's not early enough in the document that it would be seen?
It might be overlooked by the staff, the principal in particular. They
Okay.
might not realize they need to do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
It's a fairly minor
Yeah.
editorial change. We can make it.
Yeah.
I don't have any
It's
concerns.
essentially bringing it forward
okay,
as a critical need for entry.
okay. Randy, do you have that language in the policy? So is there any other discussion or questions about the amendment?
It-
Yep,
It just seems like a common sense thing to add. I have no problem with adding the amendment.
agreed. Like we said, communication can always be better. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, we will move to a roll call vote on the amendment. Would anybody like me to, okay. I'm going to have Randy read the,
I have to amend to add language to the second sentence of policy 6637. No animal shall be brought to school without prior permission from the principal and appropriate review of the rabies vaccination.
yep, okay. Thank you. We will now move to a roll call vote.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Borison? Borison, yes. Member Poole?
Pool, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Runstrom?
Renstrom, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
I'm sorry, Member Gustafson.
Did you say?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. Member Lorway
Lorway, yes.
and Chair Salmon Garrett.
The chair abstains and the motion for the amendment passes. We will now, I did it. We will now move back to discussion on the amended policy. Any questions or discussion?
I have a question
Member
based on, because we just made an amendment. Does that mean that the footnote is being removed? Is that inherent?
No, I think we were.
Okay. Okay, I may have another question. Give me a second.
Yep.
Because we're on 6637.
7.
Okay. So the footnote to that says guide, hearing, and other service animals or law enforcement dogs may be allowed in school or on school grounds with proof of current rabies. But is that contradictory to what we just heard, that you can't ask service dogs for?
That's another,
No, but I'm asking if we're not allowed to ask if we're not allowed to ask for that for service animals, this footnote specifically states service animals. So I'm just trying to clarify if that is legal or not in light of the amendment we just made. I have no
It's gonna
idea.
have to go back through legal.
this did go through legal review, so, yeah.
It did. I know,
Okay.
I'm fine with the language, I just am trying to clarify because it seems like if that is true, that we're not allowed to, then this would be in contradiction to that.
Okay, yep.
My read was that both policies would require rabies review. So,
Okay.
I mean, so I read it the same way she did, it was implying that, I was surprised that service animals, were subject to rabies history review, and perhaps they're not, is what I'm learning tonight.
Okay.
So it was a little bit confusing.
Oh, okay.
So this is.
Okay,
in
so they're still
general-
required, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's still required, it's just not subject to review by a principal
Okay.
upon.
Okay,
entry
well,
of school.
yep, remember through the chair, just, yep. Member
Isn't
Fisher.
it true, though, that a dog can't be kept in the community or have a dog license without, I don't have a dog, so I don't know, but without a rabies certificate? I mean, they have to get vaccinated. So, just curious.
Well, Member Winters?
Through the chair, and just with the rabies vaccination, I'm not sure to answer that question, but it could be specific to not necessarily being a dog. There are other types of service animals, so, I don't, I've heard of service snakes and service birds and things like that, so I don't know, maybe that's why it's more broad, because it's not necessarily those types of animals I don't think would be rabies vaccines. If we're really splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
And of course, the small horses.
And how I am, and how I read it, we wrote, and appropriate review, correct? Is that the amendment that we did?
Yeah.
An appropriate review, so that would say that the appropriate review that is allowed to be done. So to me, that says the amendment is the amendment that we made is, a reminder, but for principals to review it if they are allowed, if it is appropriate. Any other discussion, Member Martin?
Yeah, so actually, after Member Klein's amendment there, it got me looking at that footnote. Through the chair or the chair herself, can someone explain exceptions may be made with the prior approval of the superintendent of schools? Okay, so coming back to that earlier sentence, right? Kind of made it seem like the principal had the final say. So is that sentence in the footnote insinuating, okay, if you didn't get approval from the principal, you now go to superintendent?
I think it means if the superintendent had already, and it's a new principal or something, and if it's
Okay.
already been previously approved. then,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Yeah, because I was just like, is this like a loophole we just discovered? All right, all right.
Any other questions or discussion on the motion as amended? Yep, Member Klein?
One comment I'm bringing up, and this is benchmarking against DP 6638. I think there was the option in 6638 for the principal to assign a delegate or someone to operate on their behalf. And I'm just bringing it to the attention of this group that if the principal's not available at a certain moment, it might be difficult to do an approval.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
We've put We've put language in there that says "or designee."
Is that in 6637, that language?
6637 does not have the option of using a designee, and
Okay, would-
so.
okay.
I'm
You can make an
willing to
amendment.
make a
We
motion.
would need to make an amendment, a second, right? A second amendment, we could make a second
I
amendment
just don't know how
to the
constraining
motion.
that is from a practical standpoint in a typical school day.
Is it something that was discussed in policy sub, between the two?
Notice.
Okay.
I can, the language in 6638, I can try,
We need to make the amendment.
yeah, I'm just trying to, okay. I'd like to make a motion to amend the amendment.
Nope.
Well, no, you're amending the
To
motion.
amend the
Yeah.
motion
Yeah.
to include a designee of the principal.
Mhm. Got that, Randy? Okay. Okay. Is there any discussion on this amendment? Oh, we need a second.
Second.
Sorry.
Building principal or designee is what I heard. That's what I'm seconding.
Okay.
So we're talking about the third section, the third paragraph, if you will, the school principal or designee.
That was the second paragraph, which is the single sentence.
The same one we just amended. And there's two amendments to the same sentence.
Okay, so no animal, so the second one, no animal shall be brought to the school without permission of the building principal or designee. Is that where I'm reading that? Okay.
Yep.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Is there any discussion on the second amendment? Seeing none, we'll move to a, oh, sorry, who seconded it?
I seconded that. Yes.
We will move to a roll call vote on the second amendment of adding or designee.
Member Renstrom?
Renstrom, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschbaum, yes.
Member Lorway?
Lorway, yes.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Borison? Borison, yes. Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Poole?
Pool, yes.
Chair Semigeri?
The chair abstained and the motion passes.
Amendment.
The motion for the amendment. Moving back to the original newly amended motion, is there any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we will move to a roll call vote on the amended motion.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschbaum, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Lorway?
Lorway, yes.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Poole?
Pool, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Borison? Borison, yes. Member Renstrom?
Renstrom, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Chair Semigeri?
The chair abstains, and the motion passes. Next, I will accept a motion to adopt policy 6638, policy relating to pupil services, service animals in schools, first reading, waiving the reading.
So moved.
Second.
Brett and Scott. Member Beardmore, would you like to speak any more to this policy?
No, nothing more to add.
Great. Is there any question or discussion? Seeing none, we will move to a roll call vote.
Member Lorway?
Lorway, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschbaum, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Renstrom?
Renstrom, yes.
Member Borison? Borison, yes. Member Poole?
Pool, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Gavarden?
Gavarden, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Chair Semigeri?
The chair abstains, and the motion passes. Next, I will accept a motion to delete policy 4650, policy relating to budget finance, Wachusett Regional School District Treasurer, first reading, waiving the reading.
So moved.
Second.
Brett and Malia. Member Beardmore, do you want to speak to this?
Yeah, we can. Basically, this policy subcommittee felt that this policy was more procedural in nature. and really didn't fit the need for a policy. Also, in comparison to other policies in school districts, this is unique to us. So we felt no need, and through the chair, I'll let Member Gustafson speak more if I've missed anything or spoken incorrectly.
Okay.
You summarized it well.
Okay.
We researched over 20 districts, and none of them had this policy, regional districts. I stopped at 20, but, I mean, we did, I feel like we did our due diligence. Administration was also consulted, and it is largely procedural.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a roll call vote.
Member Stoika?
Stoika, yes.
Member Gustafson?
Gustafson, yes.
Member Winters?
Winters, yes.
Member Beardmore?
Beardmore, yes.
Member Lorway?
Lorway, yes.
Member Poole?
Poole, yes.
Member Klein?
Klein, yes.
Member Govarden?
Gordon, yes.
Member Fisher?
Fisher, yes.
Member Runstrom?
Runstrom, yes.
Member Borison? Borison, yes. Member Kirschenbaum?
Kirschenbaum, yes.
Chair Simon Garrett?
The chair abstains, and the motion passes. Next on the agenda are subcommittee reports. First up is Business and Finance. Member Gustafson, as the vice chair, do you have?
I am not Business and Finance.
Oh, sorry, you're not.
I am no longer the vice chair
actually-
of Business and Finance.
You are not. I'm sorry. Kumara, I
It's
apologize.
habit. It's been
No,
so
no.
long. All good.
So this Thursday, we'll be meeting. At our last meeting, we did have to cancel it. We didn't have quorum. And one of the members had also just recently resigned. So we're going to get our updates then, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, great. Speaking of that, Sterling will be appointing a new member on Wednesday, so there may be a new subcommittee assignment list coming out soon because of that. Next up is Policy Subcommittee, Member Beardmore.
So Policy Subcommittee met on the 29th, and we basically just went through all those motions that we just discussed, at least C through F. And we're going to be meeting again this Thursday, the 9th, to keep policies moving.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Legal Affairs, Member Runstrom.
Yeah, Legal Affairs has not met since our last meeting 2 weeks ago. We will be having a meeting later this month to talk about upcoming negotiations with several unions, as well as to review the legal bills from the first quarter of this fiscal year.
Great, thank you. Superintendent Goals and Evaluations Subcommittee. Does the vice chair have a report? No, I don't think they've met since. No, they haven't met since the last. It's just the cycle of it goes with the cycle. They don't meet all the time. So, okay, we'll hear from them soon. Facilities and Security, Member Poole.
Yep, so we haven't met since last time. We're meeting tomorrow night, and we will be discussing the town agreements, maintenance, lease, and regional with respect to facilities, and further follow-up discussion about the new capital improvement format.
Great, thank you. Audit Advisory Board we're still planning our fall meeting with all of our municipal members. Next is the CPAC Liaison Report, Member Runstrom.
Yep, CPAC general membership meeting was on last week on September 24th. The main thing discussed was sort of a high-level review of the results of the end-of-year survey that they did, and they're going to be bringing to the administration meeting later this month. There's also time for parents to share concerns and other facts. One concern that I did hear was just that I've heard several times was about staffing of paraprofessionals and whether there was sufficient staff for one-on-one paraprofessionals. So again, that's something that will probably come up at the next administration meeting.
Great, thank you. And now that the school year is well underway, we'll begin our school council reports. Does anyone have a school council report yet? No,
For mine.
not yet. Yep, Member
I have
Fisher?
a question. I am the representative to Dawson. I have not met with them yet, and the question, I guess, is who initiates this? I think I had asked you that
Yep.
question, and you said...
The principal will.
The principal
Yep.
does, and I have not been contacted by the principals.
Many of us haven't. I haven't been contacted about the
Nor
ECC
have I.
either. It's one of those things that the principals are getting their year going, and then it's one of those kind of DESI things that they have to get on the book. So it's kind of get all the students scheduled and the schools settled, and then it's one of those procedural things that they'll get on the books.
I have gotten communications, however, through my daughter, from a number of parents from Dawson about the passageway between, that is a real issue for people and a real cause of concern.
Okay, we can discuss that you can bring that up during new business or have
I
ask
will,
the
thank you.
superintendent bring a report.
I'm sorry, what? Okay.
Are you here for a public address?
New business, Dawson connection.
I can, let me get through this part and then I'll, any other, no school council reports? Does anyone have any new business? No? No?
Is this-
Well, I was gonna ask for without objection another public address. Sure. So if nobody has any new business, we'll move on without objection. I will add another public address section to the agenda so we can have a member of the community join us. Is there any objection? No?
Yeah, good.
Come on up, just please state your name and address. And
Yeah, hi, my name's Salvatore Mata. Thank you for your time. I'm a resident of Holden, 31 Tamarack Circle. The reason why I'm here today is a concern I have with my 3 students. I have a 4th grader right now who resides in the modular classrooms at Dawson, and I'm concerned that there's not a safe environment for my child to actively get from his separate classroom, continuously throughout the day. These students have to leave their classroom to go into the school for, whether it's a special for gym or for library or even to use the facilities. There's no connection between these modular classrooms to the school. So my concern as a parent is that there's no chaperone for, a child is leaving this, basically a construction field trailer, having to walk outside on a ramp that is not protected from the weather. So if it's snowing or raining, whatever, he's got to put on his jacket, his boots multiple times, like during the snow season. And I believe the town of Holden had committed to providing an enclosure to connect the school to these temporary modular classrooms, and that has not been done yet. So it's a concern. Like, I'm worried that my son might be, it's not fully staffed by a person. So he tells me that if the person who typically monitors it, I believe, is a lunch aide. So if this person is performing her duties as a lunch monitor, it's possible he could go to the bathroom and not get back out of the school into his modular classroom. So it's not a safe situation, and I'm concerned that the town is putting my child at risk. So I'd like to get some clarity on what the plan is to fix this.
Okay, thank you. For public address, we don't respond at the time, but thank
Sure.
you for coming and letting us know your concerns at this
Okay.
time.
Will
Thanks
this
so
be
much.
tracked in the minutes so it'll be a topic?
Yes,
Great.
it absolutely will.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Point of information.
Yes.
Would the chair be willing to consider having a report on this issue at the next meeting? It's the only way I can ask.
Yeah. Yeah, I will discuss with the superintendent at our
Thank you.
next meeting. Yep. Okay, great. Thank you. So at this time, with all business having been completed on the agenda, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.